Hey there, class. Welcome to World History 1 at the college at Mid-America. My name is Zach Sanford, and I'll be teaching this course this coming semester, and we have quite a bit to do. We have about 3,000 years of history that we need to cover in 3 months. So we are going to have a good time learning and getting into the things of history. Now, when it comes to history, many people don't know how to handle history. It's kind of a love-hate relationship with history. You either love history, like I do. I really do like history. You either love history or you don't like history. And if you love history, it's like, oh, all right, great, we can study world history. And if you don't like history, then it's like, oh man, I got to get this class out of the way for my Gen Ed credits so I can move on to what I'm interested in. But we are going to have fun with this class. Sit back and relax, and we're going to move through a lot of history. This is an overview course. It's kind of like a survey course. We're not going to get into great detail of the minute things of historical events, but we will definitely cover leaders of nations that are very important on the stage of early history, because World History 1 is earlier history. So we'll be taking a look at that this semester. This video today is a syllabus overview, and we are going to be going over the syllabus. I hope you were able to download the syllabus or print it out or look at it. I have the online syllabus here in my hand, and we're going to be going through this here in this video today in detail. I've been in many college courses and classes, and sometimes the professors just hand the syllabus out and say, read it on your own, and they go into doing whatever they're going to do. But it leaves a student in a position of, what do I have to do? And the professor needs to explain that. And so we're going to go through this syllabus here today. So you don't have any problem with what we're understanding with what we're going to be doing in the world history course. So we're going to move through this. Actually, before we start, I did want to share a little bit about myself. My name is Zacharys Background, and I am a PhD student here at Mid-America, working on my Doctor of Philosophy degree. And I was in the military a long time ago, and after I got out of the military, I went to the State University of New York, and I received a Bachelor of Science degree in history with a concentration of modern European history and a minor of anthropology. And so after that, I was working for New York State, actually, a government job, and God called me to the ministry. After about 10 years of working for New York State, God called me to the ministry, and so I went to seminary. I went to Mid-America, the Northeast campus up in New York, and I went there and I received my Master of Divinity degree. After I graduated my Master of Divinity degree, I became the pastor of a church on Long Island, New York, and I pastored that church as the lead pastor for 6 years. And the Lord was moving in me and leading me to pursue further education, higher education, and so I looked at Mid-America again, and I chose to enter the Doctor of Philosophy degree program here at Mid-America. And so my family and we moved from New York to Tennessee, and that's where we live now. And I'm in the Doctor of Philosophy program here at Mid-America, and that's where I'm filming this right now, is at Mid-America in Tennessee. This is not the library at Mid-America. This is the library somewhere around the world, but I'm standing in an office that's not being used right now, and I have a green screen behind me so we can make some interesting backgrounds, and we're going to have some fun with that this coming semester as you're watching the videos. We have different things going on behind me here on the screen as I instruct and lecture through some of this. So that's a little bit about me, and I hope I get to learn about you a little bit through Moodle, the message board, or through emails or whatever it may be. I hope I get to learn about you. So I just want to welcome you to this World History 1 class, and go ahead and grab that syllabus in your hand, and we are going to go over the syllabus here today. Just a note about the videos. These videos are going to run somewhere between 20 to 30 minutes a piece, depending on the course material, because we want to ensure that the information is given, but yet you also have enough time for reading and those kind of things. So we're going to jump into this here right now. You have syllabus in hand. This is the fall semester 2019 World History 1 online. So if you're not in World History 1 online, then this is you're on the wrong video. But if you are World History 1 online, you see it right there. At the top of the page, it talks about the professor and instructor. Okay, I'm going to explain this real quick. Dr. Mark Thompson, PhD, is a professor of record for me. As a PhD student, I'm not a doctor yet. I'm not a professor yet, but I have the opportunity to help out professors. And as a graduate teaching assistant, professors are very busy. They're doing research, they're doing teaching. Some guys are pastoring churches, and they're very busy. And so at the seminary, we have a position called the graduate teaching assistant. And the graduate teaching assistant helps out the professors by teaching classes for them. And I am under his tutelage. I'm under his supervision, and he's going to make sure that what I teach is what I'm supposed to be teaching for this course. And I've already met with Dr. Thompson several times, and we have it all set for what I'm going to be doing here as a graduate teaching assistant. But I will be your main instructor for this class. You can see at the top there the contact information. I have my cell phone there. You can text me. I'll answer your text. Call if there's a question or whatever, but definitely one of the things that you'll get an answer for me is going to be email. I check my email numerous times a day, and if you have a question or a problem, you just go ahead and email me there at zsandiford@mabts.edu. Right there on the syllabus it is. Now, be careful, because in the system or whatever it may be, there is a ZJ Sandiford at mabts.edu. That is my student email. That's my PhD student email, and that's what I use for when I email professors. So don't use ZJ Sandiford at mabts.edu. Use Z Sandiford at mabts.edu, and you'll get there. You'll get the message there to me. Now the class time up there. I mean, you need to do the sessions in the session week. For you online, but this is the class, because I am also teaching a class in the classroom with students there, and this is their meeting times. I just left it on there. So we're going to get into this here and go through, and I'm going to try to explain this the best that I can so that you can have an understanding of what to do. As all syllabi have, it talks about the course description and rationale, and this course will include a cursory study of world history from the beginning up to and including the Middle Ages. Students will explore world history through examining the political, social, and economic developments of various civilizations, peoples, and religions. The instructor has designed the assignments, lectures, and class discussions to provide a foundation for understanding major civilizations, eras, and persons during the corresponding period. Okay, so pretty important. It says in the beginning. We're going to be looking at that in regards to in the beginning from the book of Genesis. And what this class is going to do is we're going to approach the history from a biblical worldview. We're going to be approaching it from a Christian standpoint and a biblical worldview. We're not going to be getting into other things with prehistory, really into too much depth with that. We are going to be looking at the Bible when it comes to the early things of history. So we're going to continue on here. Please read the entire syllabus carefully. Even though we're going through it today, make sure you understand what's going on. And the instructor reserves the right, the opportunity to change the contents of the syllabus when necessary. If we need to adjust a timing thing or a video or something like that, I have the right to be able to do that, so we can especially stay on track with what we need to do for assignments. Course objectives. This is a list of things that are on all these types of syllabus information. It's called Bloom's taxonomy, which is just a big word for this is what you'll be able to do after you are finished with this course. And I will let you read those things on your own, because this is what you'll be able to do after you graduate, or after you finish this course. Okay, so professor availability, page 2. I will be available to be able to pray for you and counsel you. Again, if we need to talk on the phone, that's fine too. But there's other responsibilities that I do have here at Mid-America, and so if you email me things, or if we do need to talk, we can set up an appointment on the phone to be able to talk with one another and sort some things out, or whatever the issue may be. But I'm there for you. Don't think that you're just like out there and there's no one to help you or anything like that. I'm here to help you, encourage you. I want you to succeed in this course with a good grade. I want you to do well. So please don't hesitate to reach out to me or email me. Okay, so we're going to look at the required texts and assignments now. This is kind of the nuts and bolts of the syllabus. So we are going to be doing it's a pretty easy reading assignment. Okay, this is a survey course, an intro course. Maybe this is the first time you've even taken a college course. Maybe you just recently graduated high school, or you have not taken college before or something. You are new to this. And it's pretty easy. We're just going to have one textbook. That's all we have is one textbook. We don't have other books that you have to read or book reviews or anything like that. One textbook, and that textbook is called Traditions and Encounters. I have a copy of it here. Traditions and Encounters of a Global Perspective on the Past. Now, this textbook here, you need to get the 6th edition. The one in my hand is 5th edition. It's a page number issue. So you need to get the 6th edition, and so there's the information there, the ISBN number. I encourage you to get that as soon as you can, and you can get it online. Amazon has it for rent, I think, for $20, and you can send it back in December. And make sure you do get the textbook. Okay, so when we look at the reading, there's going to be reading assignments that correspond with the lessons that we do. It's on the syllabus. Just in a minute, we'll get to that. But you want to stay up on the reading. Okay, sometimes it's pretty short, and sometimes it's a little bit longer. But you want to stay up on the reading. A requirement for college in Mid-America is that undergraduate students have to read 500 pages per class. So we're going to stick to that because that's in the rule. So that's the reading. Just stick up on the reading, and then during the final exam, you're going to need to tell me how much of the reading you did. So if you only read 80% of it, you got to write 80%. It's kind of like the honor system, but you need to write the truth. Well, how much did you actually read? If you stay up on the reading, you'll be able to say 100%, and I hope you do that. Research paper. That's the next part here on the syllabus. Research paper. When you start looking about writing in college, sometimes it can be daunting. If I said, okay, you have a 10 to 12 page paper to write, well, that might be like, whoa, 10 to 12 page, I got other classes and other things going on. And so when you start looking at the completion of writing assignments, the best adage to think about is, how do you eat an elephant? You eat an elephant one bite at a time. And so it's just one piece at a time. And so we have 3 writing assignments, and we're just going to do short writing assignments for each. And you can see there the first 2. The student will write 2 5-page research papers, and that's not very much. It's good enough to get some practice into writing, but it's not like overbearing for you. 2 5-page research papers. One paper will be an approved person, so it's got to be approved by me. Send me an email. Hey, I want to write my paper on this person. Within the time period that we're talking. Again, we're talking about from the beginning all the way up to 1500. So don't write a paper about someone that is in the news today from like yesterday, like Donald Trump or something. Don't say I want to write on President Trump. It's got to be someone before 1500. That's a person. The second research paper is going to be on an approved topic, okay, related to the course content. So that would be maybe a battle, or maybe a war, or battle, or maybe some sort of a social movement, or even just a nation, rise and fall of a nation, or something like that of that time period. Again, it's only 5 pages, so you're not going to get into great depth of the paper. But what's important about writing in college, maybe compared to high school or some other writing, is that you want to give an analysis of what you are researching. Okay, an analysis. You're not just going to tell me about what you read, because I can go read the book myself. What you need to tell me is your analysis of the person or of the event. So right there on the paper, I have that explained out, that you'll give an analysis of the chosen topic. In other words, you will not simply write about Julius Caesar, but you will discuss whether he was a good leader or a good general, etc., in your opinion. And why do you think that? If you write a major historical event, you will, when you write on the major historical event, you will discuss its significance in history. So this event takes place, well, what happened in history for, what happened afterwards? Whether there was some effects that took place because of that. And in the writing, I will know, get your opinion in there. I'll be able to sense how you're leaning, because when we all write, we all have a bias on what we believe and the way we're leaning when we write, and I'll be able to pick up on that. That's your opinion part of the paper. Okay, so when we talk about writing papers, we have to cite papers. Okay, especially undergraduate, you're not doing any kind of groundbreaking research anywhere where you are the author of some information. You are going to be taking all this information from some other place, and so you have to cite this information. For the college, it's MLA citation, so it's MLA formatting of the paper and MLA citation. So you have to cite your sources. Speaking of sources, for your papers, your 2 5-page research papers, you need to use minimum six resources. I want you to get in the practice of researching and looking at resources. 6 resources, and of those 6, half of them have to be books. Okay, so you have to use 3 books. So don't use 6 electronic sources. 3 books. Okay, and of those books, make sure that 2 of them are hard copy books. That means you got to go to the library or purchase it on Amazon or something. You need to actually go and get those books and open them up and research and write what you want to do. Put in your paper. But notice, you may only use, when you do electronic sources, and you can use some electronic sources, just got to make sure you use books too. The electronic sources, they must be credible, scholarly sources. Don't use Wikipedia. If you put Wikipedia in there, I'm just going to be like, because you don't know who wrote that on Wikipedia. Don't use Wikipedia. Use credible sources. And you have to cite where it is. So when you look at the paper there on top of page 3 on the syllabus, all students must use Grammarly to proof their paper before turning it into the professor. If the professor feels this process has been omitted, the paper will be returned to you ungraded for correction and penalized 1 letter grade. This is very important. This is what Mid-America requires of the students, and you should have received an email from Campus Life that you will get Grammarly for free through the Campus Life office. If you haven't gotten that, I strongly recommend that you contact Campus Life to get the email for Grammarly so you can sign up and have your own account on Grammarly. That means you write your paper, you put it into Grammarly on your computer, which is very easy. You just drag it in and drop it, and Grammarly will run through your paper for you and give you all the mistakes. Okay, and so if you write a paper, it's 5 pages long, and the first page has 50 mistakes, and it may well because of spelling and punctuation and grammar and all that. It does all of it for you, and it tells you what the corrections are. Run through, correct your paper through Grammarly, and then submit it to me. When you submit it to me, I will then run it through Grammarly myself. And when I run it through Grammarly myself, it's going to show me how many mistakes you have in your paper that have not been corrected by you through Grammarly. So if you give me a paper and it's clear that this was not run through Grammarly, it's you have 5 pages and you have 500 errors, spelling, punctuation, all that, and it'll be clear that it was not run through Grammarly. And I'm just going to send it back to you, and I'm going to deduct a letter grade from that paper, because you got to follow these instructions. This is not Zach doing this. This is the college. This is the requirement that they have. So you have to do it. You see the dates there that the papers are due. The first one is due October 18th, Friday, October 18th. So just submit it then. And the second paper is due Friday, November 22nd. Okay, don't get behind. You'll get these papers knocked out. And then turn the papers in Moodle. Okay, there'll be a place there for you to drag your paper in and drop it or attach it there in Moodle and submit it that way. That way we have it in the Moodle itself, and I can access it that way. Okay, the next part is very important: plagiarism. Do not plagiarize. You are getting information from other sources, yes, but you must cite where you get that information, especially if it's a direct quote. Okay, if you hand in a 5-page paper and you have one citation, that's going to lead me to believe that you just took other people's stuff and put it in your paper as your own. I can only grade what is submitted to me. I can't grade on what you thought or anything like that, or I meant to do this. I can't grade you on meaning, like, oh, I meant to do that. No, you have to cite the paper. Always cite. That means put through MLA format. If you have a paragraph, put at the end of that where you got that information. That way I know where you got it. Grammarly will also, when you run it through, it'll also give you a plagiarism kind of amount that it checks all these websites all on the internet, and it'll come up with an amount that's plagiarized. Now, when I say that, that's not necessarily bad that Grammarly does that. As long as you cite, you're okay. Okay, but if it comes up that it's like 50% plagiarized and there's no citation, then I've got to look at grading that differently or finding out what's going on, why it wasn't even cited. So you see there you must cite. It says footnote there. That's a way of citing, but MLA, it's just right in parentheses at the end of the paragraph or at the end of that sentence or whatever. So make sure that you are citing your paper so you're not accused of plagiarism. Okay, so that's all you got to do. Next is a reflection paper. That's the third writing assignment, is a reflection paper. It's 2 pages long, so you have a total of 12 pages that you're going to write. 2 pages long, and the 2-page reflection paper is on the topic there and there at the bottom of page 3. And what that basically just means is read that section or whatever in the book with those titles, and then just give me your opinion about it. Just a page and a half of what took place, a quick summary, page and a half, and then like a half a page, like a paragraph or so of what you think about it. Okay, do you agree with it? Is it something that you find valuable in research? That sort of thing. Just a reflection paper. It just gets you in the practice of reading and then writing something about it. Okay, and that's going to be due towards the very end of the semester. And all of this is to help you to progress in your writing capability, because as you progress, especially higher level undergraduate courses, they're going to have more writing requirements and assignments. Okay, so course requirements, there's going to be 4 exams. 4 exams, they're not cumulative, 4 exams, and you see there that that's 60% of your grade, 4 exams. That's 20% each. Your reading assignment daily, that's the 10% of your grade, and again, that's going to be at the final exam, how much you read in the assignment. Write a term paper, research paper on the approved topics. Again, that is the 2. Okay, that's a typo there. That's 2 research papers, 5 pages each, 1 on a person, 1 on an event or topic. Okay, so that's in there, the 2 papers. Reflection paper, 10%, and you see the topics there to choose from for that. Inclement weather, you don't got to worry about that online. Next page, exam dates: September 10th, October 3rd, November 10th. Final is December 10th. So you see there's like no midterm or anything like that. It's just a test. We're going to move on to the next section. A test, next section. A test to the final, and again, the final is not cumulative. It's just going to be only the last section that we cover. Grading scale, College of Mid-America catalog talks about this. It's now a 10-point grading scale, so you see the grades there on the syllabus. Class attendance, you need to read that carefully there about the online course arranged by the weeks. And so when logged on, check the resources, lectures, etc. But it needs to be logging on to the week, the session, okay, within the week. So there's 3 sessions. You need to log on those 3 sessions and do the work. Late work, plan ahead. Just don't do it. Stay on schedule. So if papers get turned in late, and you're going to be putting them in Moodle, and it'll give a timestamp of when they were put in to Moodle. If If it's late, it's going to have a 5-point deduction. Okay, you got to get it in on time. We can't just keep putting papers off, and then it's like, oh, at the end of the semester, here's a bunch of papers. You got to get them put in, and that way you can get it in and then move on to the next thing you've got to do. Especially if you have other classes you're taking online, you need to stay up on the work. It's very, very important to stay up on the work. Okay, so late work. Next is a schedule that we see there. Founders Days, you're required to watch Founders Days on for the first week there. Founders Days, you're required to watch it online, so make sure you do that. And then the 21st is Founders Days, and again, that's going to be a chapel service here on campus, but you're not going to be here. So make sure you watch it, and then watch this video, syllabus overview. Okay, that's today, and then you can see there that you move on to the next session there, which will be your next video, is actually what and why of history. Okay, that'll be the next video coming up, what and why of history. And you can move down there. We're going to talk in the beginning, the first civilization, Mesopotamia, Assyria, Babylon. I mean, you see through there, Phoenicians, Hittites. These are early civilizations. You might recognize some of them from the Bible there. And as you go down, we see exam number 1 there, Egypt. So after exam number 1, Egypt. A couple of videos on Egypt. That's a very important part of history with Egypt. Again, you see the reading assignments there. Make sure you stay up on the reading. Continuing on, page 6, we get into India, China, Persia. All right, into October, where we look at exam number 2. Then we have a fall break. You see the dates there. Then we get into Greece. Okay, moving into Greece. Notice at the end there, week 9, research paper number 1 due. So that's that first 5-page research paper. The first 5-page research paper due there at the end of week 9. Continue on in Greece. Then we move into Rome. Again, these are very important periods of history, and we're going to be covering these in a broad overview of what's going on there in Rome. We move into Christianity because the Roman Empire became a Christian empire. Later on. So we see we'll get into Christianity. Then following that will be exam number 3, moving into Islam, moving into the Middle Ages, moving into the nations that came up into power during the medieval times. Then we see at the end of week 14, research paper number 2 is due. Then we move into Thanksgiving break here on the syllabus. Okay. Then continuing on in the medieval times, the Crusades, and that'll take us right up into the final exam and prepare you for the next part of the course, which is World History 2, which is a different course. Okay, so just flip over to the next page 8, select the bibliography. This is a long list of books that you can use for your papers or whatever. Get them from the library and do your research. There, so page 8, 9, there's some selected bibliography. You don't have to use those, but there's some suggestions to be able to use them for the different kind of topics we're talking about. And then page 10 is the grading rubric, and that's what we use to grade papers. So you see this is a grading rubric, and you can look over that. But what that means is I look at your presentations of ideas and the content in your papers. Organization and flow. Is there a flow to your paper? Or is it just all choppy, just like stuff put in there? Style. Now notice there under it says Turabian towards the bottom here. It says Turabian. That's for the seminary. The seminary has to cite and format papers by a process called Turabian. You don't need to worry about that. You are MLA, and so I will be looking at that MLA style. Okay, so and then mechanics. I do the point system, and then you'll get your grade for your paper. Okay, so that's the syllabus. I hope you're going to have fun this semester as we dive into World History 1. Again, don't get behind. You want to stick up on the assignments and on the readings. So we're going to end this video here. I hope everyone's doing well, and we'll see you next time.